They say life slows down after 40. They say after 40, it's all downhill.
We say it's just the beginning.
Welcome to What She's Having, the podcast that proves getting older is the ultimate glow up.
We are your hosts, Jennifer Cataldo and Britney Semler, two best friends, moms, business owners, and professional fun havers, living proof that the second half is the better half.
Yes, you can be over 40 and still over the top fabulous, thriving, stylish, and a little bit wild.
Think luxury travel, wellness that actually works. Beauty tips we don't gatekeep, mixed with a little mischief, because aging gracefully is expected, but aging boldly, even better.
We're spilling our favorite beauty hacks, wellness secrets, travel obsessions, and why Botox and belly laughs are equally essential. So come for the fashion, stay for the friendship, and trust us, you're going to want what she's having. Hello, is anyone out there?
Anybody? Anyone? Bueller?
Bueller, are you listening?
Yeah.
Hello, Earth. Welcome to What She's Having. This is so exciting.
Finally,
a long road.
Mm-hmm.
Long.
Yes. I think I'm very happy with this.
You are?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yes. So let's talk about how do we decide to start our podcast?
So Jen and I talk. We have like a fromance, like a friendship romance. We talk like we are just dating. So we'll be in the car, and every time we get in the car, we call each other. And sometimes that's 5-6 times a day. And during that time, we workshop everyone's lives, all the things that we've tried throughout the day, what we're getting at Erewhon for the day. And we always say that it's so terrible that nobody has insight to this but us. So now we are ready to share it with the world.
Because we think that we are so smart, and we think that we have the answers to everybody's problems. We think that we know better than everybody else. And we're just so excited to share our knowledge and our insight. And I think it's going to be a blast.
And I think what's fun about us is our honesty, is that we truly don't gatekeep our secrets. Like, we really are open books.
With each other.
But to the world. Like, sometimes you tell me I share too much.
Yeah, I'm so much more private
You definitely
than you
have
are.
boundaries. I don't. I need them. That's the new workshop.
Boundaries.
But I do think that by sharing, it's important, and especially being a woman at our age, I think it's neat for people to know what we're doing.
I agree. And I have to say, I grew up in a home where my father never talked about toilet paper or periods or any of that stuff. And I don't think he ever bought toilet paper his whole life. And when we got our period, my mom was like, wrap it up like a mummy. Like, there had to be no trace of any of that happening in our life. So I come from a very private, not shameful, but just private. And growing up, I was very conscientious of what people thought because of kind of how my dad put that in our head. And now, I mean, especially after you have kids and you deliver a baby and your like legs are spread and you're eating your first meal and 20 people are coming in and seeing you, you lose that inhibition. And I think being 40 plus, I've come into my own in such a way. And just in our friendship over the years, I've seen you come into your own in a very different way. And it's incredible for women to sort of break free of those chains of childhood and what we think we should do or what we should be, and to really figure out who we are and what we want to be.
Understood and agree. I will tell you about Jen and I. We both have a very interesting background. And for me, I feel like and I think I'm speaking for you in saying this, that I now am living my absolute best life. Like, I'm happiest I've ever been. Maybe it's because I met you along that journey, but I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life with my husband, with my friendships, with my children, my schools, my living situation. I'm so happy. And I think a lot of that has to do with, again, like the journey you and I have been on. Like we workshop so much that I think when I have challenges with Devin, my husband, I call you and we kind of workshop it. So it gets rid of that torture that we do toward, we punish each other. When there's things with my children, I call you. Anyways, we want to share a lot of this with all of you.
We came up with a name, What She's Having, because being our age, and I'm not going to say my age yet, it will come. People are like, what are you doing? What are you eating? How are you working out? Like, what are you wearing? Where did you buy that? Where'd you get your hair? Right? And they say that to Brittany and I all the time. And we just figured, let's just get it all out. It'll be easier to do it this way.
Funny part about it was it started as I will have what she's having. And the night before we were going to do something with that, a friend called me and said Chelsea Handler was launching a book. And we ended up shortening it. And it's so much cuter and so much more us.
Yes.
Britney, can you tell us a little bit about your background in terms of how you met your husband, a little bit about your kids?
First of all, I'm an LA native, which is rare to this part of town. And I met my husband, oddly enough, in high school. I was a freshman, he was a senior. And I don't know if I should say this, but he took my virginity. And he wasn't the only guy I've been with. However, God, countless years later, we're still together. And we left and did our own thing. We went away and went to college and came back together. And we've had 20 plus years of wild, wild times and great times and trivial times. And like I said before, we're in this better place and love where we are today. We have 3 beautiful children. So I always say this, like, first and foremost, Jen knows this, my day-to-day is mom bill. I'm in the thick of it. I have a 12-year-old and 2 8-year-olds. So I'm literally in the thick of it. And I'm in my elementary years still. I professionally came out of college and pretty much went right into the beauty industry. I worked for a skincare line. And if we take it back to 2005, 2004, I actually opened the Argyle Salon and Spa, which was at the Sunset Tower Hotel. And it was 2 levels. I was this very young girl, and I was given this opportunity from my husband to open an incredible facility. And there we employed stylists, so our hairstylists. We were a huge spa. So we had our estheticians, massage therapy, and we had medical. So it was all encompassing. And we were in the Sunset Tower, which made it so much fun. Anyways, it was my first, I had worked in the beauty segment doing selling skincare products, but it was like my first time really in a full beauty business. And I did that for like 10, 11 years. And when I tell you every segment of it, like I fell in love with hair, obviously, obsessed, skincare, and of course the medical portion. We had lasers there. So there wasn't like a night where me and my girlfriends weren't in there lasering each other. If we didn't lock up Botox, I would have been doing that. But from there, the Brazilian Blowout was born. And the Brazilian Blowout for me is like, it was my first baby. It's why I had children so late in life. It was such a incredible experience because salons at the time had wet lines, color, cuts, and straightening treatment. So we were a whole new segment, literally a whole new segment. So we're hair smoothing or category, I should say. And we took off. It was wild. Like when I tell you wild, it was wild. And my husband and I were so fortunate to have met so many great people that came into our company and have, helped to take it where it is today and better at things than we are, obviously. I'm not even, in the day work or in the company day to day anymore because we have better people that know so much more, than I do. But it really threw me in the beauty business. And now I'm ready to get back into it. Now I'm ready for this.
Can you tell us a little bit about your children's names and how they came to be?
Well, my oldest is Maverick, and my husband would tell a different story than I would. He says it's based on a book. I say it's based on a movie. And oddly enough, our dog is Goose. And then we have two little ones, Bullet and Hero, which everyone thought the names were a joke. My mom's like, no, really, what is her name? Bullet, no, really, what is her name? And it couldn't be more fitting. I think that my husband wanted to name Bullet something different. And I really don't know how we decided on that, but it is like the greatest name for her. And then Hero was from many trips to Japan and took his name, and his middle name's Big Bear, my water broken Big Bear. And that's it.
Those are amazing names. Funny story, when we first met you guys, and we'll go back to how we met, and you told us the name of your children, my husband said, oh, that's cool because my kids' names are Grenade, Pistol, and Rifle. Remember?
Yes, it's definitely a conversation joke.
And Jen, can you tell us a little bit about your background, how you met John, about your kids?
So I met my husband 18 years ago, and this is my second marriage. So I met him, my best friend from childhood saw him at Starbucks, and she called me and she said, there's this really cute guy. He has good shoes on. He has the same car as you. He's laughing. He's handsome. I'm going to give him your number. I was like, fine. So she gave him my number and he never called me. And then 2 weeks later, he was in line for Starbucks and he got a tap on his shoulder and it was her. And she's like, you have to call her. So that's how we met. So this is my second marriage and I have two children. My youngest is 21. My oldest is 24. And I am a stepmom of a 27 and a now 31-year-old. Yeah, it's wild. And it's been a journey, an amazing journey. I have the battle wounds to prove it. Here we are, and I'm so grateful for that. My career, I always worked in entertainment, and in my 20s, I was actually Brooke Shields' assistant, and that really set me on a trajectory for such creativity, and I was exposed to so many beautiful things. I was involved in her wedding. I was involved in picking her wedding planner, and we'll talk about that another episode. That's a whole other story. And I was on her TV show called Suddenly Susan, and I always ended up in the makeup room. I loved the makeup room, and I became very close to her makeup artist. And I decided after that job had run its course that I wanted to pursue makeup, and I became a studio makeup artist. And her makeup artist was my mentor. So I was always very visual. I was always really good with color. And during that time, I had bought a house, like the ugliest house on the block, but in the coolest neighborhood in Lake Hollywood. And I remodeled it. And I remember bringing my friends through before we started the remodel. And I had zero experience remodeling. But one amazing thing about my parents, they never said to me, you can't do that. There was nothing that I had an idea of doing that they would say, you don't have experience or you don't have knowledge. Like they were like, great idea. So I sort of just adopted that in everything that I did in my life. I was like, well, why can't I do that? And I just did it. So my friends would go to these houses and they're like, this is so ugly. And I know they were talking shit behind my back. I know that they were thinking like this was the ugliest house. And then they would come back in after the remodel and they were like blown away. And so that's sort of accidentally how my company started. They would ask me after that, now I'm in my third house, will you design for me? And I was like, no, I'm not going to work for you. And then when my kids would go to school, they started taking the bus. And I was now like kind of an empty nester in that way where I still had kids, but I had now a full day, right? And you're like, what am I going to do with my time? And that's, like as a woman, as a mom, there's these moments where you're like, who am I? And you have to redefine yourself and figure out your purpose and try to actualize. And I said to my girlfriend, I'll do your room for free. I'll do one room. And it was so fun for me. And I did her room. And then her friend called me, can you do my daughter's room? And And again, the accidental decorator, that's how it started. So that was probably 14 years ago.
And I love the name because whenever people say to me, "Oh, you're going out with the accidental decorator," I'm like, "Yeah, Jen." Like everyone refers to you as the accidental decorator.
Yeah, I know. It's such a funny thing. My kids will be like, "Oh, Mom, did you accidentally decorate it?" And they kind of like gave me a
Not
hard time. Not
anymore.
anymore. And then when they came to the house in Nashville, right, when it was done, because it was so remote, they never saw the progress. They were like, gulp, like,
Yes.
okay, Mom.
Yes. Not an accident.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, everything Jen touches aesthetically really is impeccable.
And you know what? I have to say, I love your taste. And it's part of the reason why we're sort of like soul sisters in that way.
We really are, because at the beginning of this friendship, during COVID, we spent so much time shopping at like interior stores. That's really where this like began. We went to all the interior stores because we were redoing this house, and
Yeah.
that's where we ended up.
Okay, since you guys just brought up shopping, what are some of your local Southern California local stores to shop at?
There is one that we both go to, Elise Walker. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a great
That's
store.
a really great store. They have, great brands. And then if we're not talking about just, high fashion, going to Neiman's or Saks, those are great.
Yeah, we love a Beverly Hills trip.
Love, like heart fluttering love.
Nowadays online is, and we call our daily shopping is like our drug dealers. And I say that in like a very comedic way, not real drug dealers, but it's like our clothing drug dealers that send us, you wake up to it and it's sending us the Instagrams, the shared files. And you're like, oh my God, stop it. It's like getting your fix every day. And then you're like screenshotting. And if you were to look at my phone, this is so terrible to say because I love my kids so much, but like the screenshots are just as many of stuff that I like as like the kids. Like on vacation, it's terrible.
What is your favorite skincare item, the best skincare item you cannot live without?
It's probably one that I've just had in my toolbox for years. It's SkinCeuticals C&E Ferulic. It's like the greatest for daytime sun prevention, anti-aging. It's like an all-in-one. It smells a little funk, but once you get past that, it's amazing. I'm totally into this new line One Skin, which I'm obsessed with right now. I love, love, love the eye cream, but I go back to, if it's like my one product, it's C&E Ferulic SkinCeuticals.
I use products from my facialist. She's a perimedical facialist. So it's called Your RX, and that's just very simple and clean for me. And the eye cream that I love is from a new brand called You Beauty, and all of her stuff is made in Korea. And it's really cool watching her career pivot, right? Because she was really known for her handbags on Instagram. That was kind of her thing. It was all about handbags. And then she has just come up with this luscious, like proven results line from Korea that is a higher price point, but definitely worth it.
I know you guys are big travelers. I know sometimes you travel as couples, sometimes with family. What is one trip everyone must take?
Well, I think it's different because we're very fortunate. And part of the reason why we're so close and bonded is our husbands get along so well, and we are amazing travel partners. And we go, the four of us, every year, several times a year to different places. Every summer we go to Capri in Italy. And last summer we added Saint-Tropez to that, which has been phenomenal.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah,
Like, how did
mind-blowing.
I not know Saint-Tropez in my 30s and 20s? My favorite place.
Well, your pocketbook wasn't the same,
This is
right?
true.
So it's like you kind of need to have deep pockets for that. So I would say for me, Saint-Tropez and Capri as like friends, amazing. My favorite, I know you said one, but I need to pick two. No, I need to pick three. I'm sorry, I have to. For my family, Japan is so incredible. Like, wow. as a family. And every year my family goes to St. Bart's, and that's also incredible. And then my favorite winter vacation is Aspen.
I'm with you for us, like on our summer travel, Europe. I love Italy. I'm in a different boat because I have babies still. So when I family travel, like every time I take my kids somewhere outrageous, we just got back from Hong Kong and India, I'm constantly reminding myself on those trips, like San Diego, let's go to the zoo, let's go to SeaWorld. They don't know the difference. It's a lot to travel with my kids now. So I like a place where I park it. Like I'm down for Tahiti. I'm down for Hawaii. I love going down to Mexico. It's easy to be on the beach with them. I love like a winter for us is Blackberry Farm. It's like the gem of the United States.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And I think that's probably one of my favorite places to quick travel, like an in and out.
Yes.
But total relaxation and full belly.
I'll never forget the first time that we took you guys there. That was so spectacular. And Blackberry Farm is in Wallen, Tennessee, which is right outside of Knoxville. So Brittany and I both have houses in Los Angeles. We're neighbors in the same area. And also we're about 6 minutes down the road of each other in Nashville. And it's so nice to be able to share both lives with each other.
Okay, I know we're going to talk a lot about fashion on this podcast. What's your why behind really like being and looking and feeling your best every day?
So I am just a visual person. I just realized that about myself. I realized that about my childhood. And I realized as a young kid, I would find myself like fawning over the moms that were put together. I was always drawn to that put together woman. I remember there was a woman driving us in carpool, and I would sit in the front seat with her before, like the seat belts. It was like those bench seats, and I would always look at her shoes. Like she had the coolest shoes. And my older sister was an ice skater, and so we would always go to Topanga Plaza. There was an ice skating rink, and there was a store on the second floor, and we'd walk up the second floor, and there'd be these beautiful women's clothing like on the mannequins in the store. And I would say to myself in my head, I'm going to have that when I'm older. Each new outfit, I'm going to have that when I'm older. And it was always so important to me. And I would go into my girlfriend's mom's makeup. We'd play dress up all the time, and I would always feel so good. And I remember we had a Saks Fifth Avenue by my house, and I walked in one day when I was a teenager, and I was wearing like sweats and my hair in a bun, and no one would help me. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then I did my own experiment. I came in the next day looking super cute, and there was like 3 people. Can I help? And I thought, oh my God, this is it. This is like the key. Like you kind of become invisible in my mind. This is my perception when you're not showing like self-care, self-love, and the confidence isn't there because you're kind of shameful. And I kind of seen with myself and even with my mom when I dress her up because she's so beautiful, when I put the right clothes on her and I do her hair and I do her makeup. And that's really where I started to learn makeup, was on my mom, just how much better she feels. So that's really why I put myself together. And by the way, I could rock a Forever 21 outfit just as much as a Dior. Like it doesn't matter the price point. It just matters the effort and how you put yourself together. And I remember Brooke Shields saying to me, I came to her house one time with this cute outfit, and she's like, how do you do that? I'm like, what? She's like, that. Like, how do you put that together? And I never thought that was like an innate talent until I understood that not everybody has the visual desire to put things together like I do.
I think for myself and probably for you as well, I feel better like when I look back, when I put myself together, I feel better internally. I don't know why. I feel good about myself when I go out and I have my hair done. And for me, even after having children, I was one of those women that like got up every day, put my clothes on. Like I don't go to carpool or drop off in the morning in sweats. I like get dressed, I have my clothes on, or I have my workout outfit on, and like I'm color coordinated. It's just who I am. But I think for women in general, it's hard. Like when you're a busy mom or a working mom or a working woman, and to get up every day when you have stuff to do and think about putting an outfit on. I think the key is to have like pieces in your closet that are, even like the aloe that we wear. It's like monochromatic. You wear the same color and it's very easy. You throw it on and just have like your essentials that you throw on, your highlighter, your lip gloss. If I have to leave, I always put my brows on. I always put on a highlighter and I throw my lipstick on and I can feel like $100.
Right. That's the minimum.
Yeah. I could feel like $100. But it is funny though, like for my husband, if I'm in braids and sweats and a t-shirt, he's like, oh my God, you look so cute. You look so good. And for me, I'm like, oh, really?
You could still look so cute in your workout clothes, but brush your hair, brush your teeth.
100%.
Touch up the little rosacea on your face and like give us a little gloss. I think that's what we're needing.
Yeah.
Can we just please unpack how you ladies feel about the term middle age?
I mean, we need to rebrand this middle age thing.
We did an experiment where we chat GBT'd middle age. And through that process, we had 20, 40 terms that were equally as terrible. And I think it's a challenge to all of you as our listeners to come up, what is the rebranding for middle age? How do we say that in a chic way that makes us as women feel empowered, feel hot as fuck? And what do we do with this?
First of all, it's the no fucks given age, that's for sure. I think that it should be rebranded the Wonder Years because it's something so magical and something so unexpected. It's like, when you turn 50, it's a 5.0. It's like a reboot of your system. It's like when you're updating your computer system, it's you're updating your own system and you're smarter and you're more efficient and you just look at things better and it's more vibrant and it's more technicolor. And I think it's something that we really need to embrace. And we are living our best lives.
We feel better at this point of our lives. And when I look back, when I look back at pictures, obviously like hairstyle stuff has changed, but you can see throughout pictures the confidence that's changed in me, even over the last 4 or 5 years. I just think with age, I care a little less about what people think. I am happier in every moment. I live for today, not what did happen. I don't dwell on stuff. I just life is so much more exciting for me now. Middle age is, let's get rid of it.
Yeah. I also think for you and for me, we've both been through some traumatic things in the last few years where we really appreciate life and we embrace life and we both understand that tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And the only thing when somebody leaves us that we're left with is those memories that we have with them, those experiences. And so we're always trying to create these incredible experiences because that is what fills our heart.
Absolutely. Well said.
So I think the audience is probably dying to know how you guys met and maybe some secrets to friendship.
Like as great as our lives are and how we talk about fashion and this and that, like just going back to our friendship and how I met you and why I was so attracted to you, Jen, is like it doesn't take a lot for both of us. Like you don't have to peel back 9 layers to find someone who's just so down to earth, so rad, so practical. Like we put on our shit kickers, we get dirty, we care so much about individuals, we care so much about our friends. That's why we both have a tremendous amount of them that we're constantly feel like we're workshopping for them and workshopping their lives. And when I said that we get on those phone calls and we workshop people's lives, we don't get on phone calls and get catty. We really figure out their lives and we're like, how do we give this, how do we package this up and give it to this friend for them to be successful in their life and what they're doing? And we're hopeful that through this podcast, we're able to present that to all of you and give you an insight to, just some of the goodness and the lovingness. And as Jen said, we've been through a lot, not only in the past few years, which we've both had a lot of loss that has sort of grounded us more than maybe we wanted. with a perspective of living every day. Like you get to wake up every day and make it a choice. Is it a good day or is it a bad day? I'm having a good day. That's my choice. But I think just how we grew up in general, which in many, in episodes to come, we'll talk about that. I grew up in a very, a single mom household where my mother struggled. She drove a food truck at one point and worked night jobs. We had roommates. I shared rooms with my brothers. Like it was intense. And then when she married my stepfather, who was, he's the best. Thank God. Thank God we have him in our lives. But, he made a modest living and we struggled. And I think that really grounded me for who I am today. And I know you had a similar background. So it doesn't we're not peeling back layer by layer to find this inner greatness and like love and warmth. Like for you, it was like, I took back one layer and I'm like, there's the girl I love. There's like, that's the girl I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Oh my God, I'm so happy I found you.
I do.
Bye, Devin. Bye, John.
Sorry, Devin. Sorry,
we have
John.
each other. I also had very, very humble beginnings, and the life that I live and what we've done together, it's an embarrassment of riches. I would never have dreamed this big. And I think that is something that people can understand, that maybe you may not have something now, and what we do isn't the goal, but like having the goal, knowing that the universe is abundant and I'm not stealing from you and you're not stealing from me. And there's enough love and happiness and success and opportunities for all of us. It's all there for our taking. And just to have the positive outlook and to have the vision is very important. But none of this, and I know this about you, like none of this would ever or could ever change me, because I understand what it's like to not have anything. And that's a whole other episode.
So in summary, we're super excited to have you guys here for what she's having. And we're really thrilled to share with you guys everything that is, I hate the word, we're renaming it middle age. Really all of the things that go along with that. And like we said, there's not a serum, a slip cover, a procedure, a peptide, a vitamin, a supplement that we haven't tried or won't try. And we want to share all of that with you and come along for the ride. We're thrilled.
We want you to have everything that we're having. We want you to have everything that she's having. If you laughed, gasped, or immediately Googled flights to Paris, we did our job.
Don't forget to leave us a review, 5 stars only, please. And follow along for behind the scenes madness on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Official What She's Having.
Catch you next time. And until then, go get yourself something fabulous.